We'll be painting on an 8x10 inch canvas using acrylic paints in the colors Bimini Blue, White, Chestnut, Orange Spice, Harvest Orange, and Nectarine. These are just my selections, so feel free to swap the colors out with whatever you have on hand. You'll also need this Pumpkin Spice Love Traceable that I made just for you. You can download it from our website for free. Just visit paintingwithred.com or click the link in the description box below. And to trace the image onto your canvas, you'll need graphite paper. You can find this at your local office supply store or by clicking the affiliate link in the box below. Let's get started. Lay a sheet of graphite paper on top of your canvas. Make sure the shiny side is facing down. Then, place your traceable on top. You can hold the sheets in place with a bit of masking tape. Then, take a basic ballpoint pen and trace over your image. Don't forget the leaves and heart. When you're done, carefully peel off the tape and remove the two sheets, and your canvas should look something like this. Now it's time to paint. Load a round brush with some of that bibbidi-bobbidi blue, or any magical color of your choosing, and begin painting the background. I like to tackle the big areas first and then go back in for the smaller areas. If you're wondering why I've stopped painting, it's because this is the part of the movie where Renee Zellweger sings Over the Rainbow, and it's the only reason I've stuck with this depressing movie this long. Alright, now that the song and movie are over, I'm going to finish up the background while watching a less traumatizing movie, Fatal Attraction. When you're done with your background, it should look like this. Grab a clean brush, dip into that nectarine, and paint over the entire mug area. As long as you're using a light shade of orange, you shouldn't have any problem seeing the love underneath. Unlike Michael Douglas, who didn't realize how much Glenn Close loved him until it was too late. Next, dip into that harvest orange and add some shading to the left side of the mug and the handle. And it was at this very moment that I decided that this mug was going to turn into a pumpkin. Maybe it had something to do with the bibbidi-bobbidi boo. Although the fairy godmother turned the pumpkin into a coach, not the other way around. Anyway, it was a completely spur-of-the-moment decision. The same kind of decision that got Michael Douglas into this terrifying situation. Next, dip into some of that orange spice and chestnut and paint on 6 rounded lines. They sort of look like 3 sets of parentheses, or the laugh lines of a 40-ish woman. I can say that, being 40-ish. Add some of that chestnut and orange spice to the handle as well. Grab some more nectarine and blend those darker lines in. Now dip into some white and add some highlights to the areas between the parentheses. Let me just say, I was totally wrong about this movie being less traumatizing, as I have just seen Cruella de Vil's Puppies. Now, let's add some shading to the top rim and very bottom of the mug, and the underside of the handle. Finally, go back in and paint on a few thin white streaks for highlights, the same way God did to my hairline. Now I want you to mix a tiny bit of chestnut with some white until you get a creamy French vanilla color. Use this new color to paint in your whipped cream. Let's glop it over the sides because, life is messy. Notice how the top of the swirl looks like a fluffy bunny tail? By the way, don't watch this movie if you like fluffy bunnies. Now, while the paint is still wet, let's grab some of that big meanie blue and swirl that into the French vanilla. Next, load a new brush with chestnut brown and fill in the lower leaf. Grab some harvest orange and drag the paint out from the center of the leaf toward the points. Repeat those steps with nectarine. And then, finally, draw on the leaf veins with some French vanilla. Do the exact same thing on the other leaf. Next, grab some harvest orange and fill in the heart on the mug. Dip the tip of the brush into some orange spice, the darker shade, and outline the edges of the heart only. Grab a thin liner brush, dip into some Bimini blue, and carefully fill in the L, V, and E. Now you're ready to fill in the pumpkin spice words. Load a clean brush with some nectarine and carefully trace over the letters. When you're done, grab a thin liner brush with some of that French vanilla we made and add a single line on only the down strokes of the letters. This will make them pop and stand out from the background. Add a few more highlights to your pumpkin mug and Bob's your uncle. You're all done. Your painting should look something like this, minus the fake leaves and real pumpkins. Doesn't it look great? See, you can paint anything as long as you break it down into simple steps.